guys. Welcome to Hope Rescue Podcast. I'm Kimberly Scott. This is my smoking hot, sexy Santa. Lumberjack Santa. Yeah.
No,
Tim.
I'm not Santa Claus.
Tim, you have like a
I'm lumberjack.
hey,
Santa, Christmas is over.
listen,
It's
babe. I just
lumberjack.
got to tell you something though. It's really a thing. If you go on Pinterest and look for like sexy Santa, there's like they have. It started a
I'm
few
not
years
there.
ago of like the hipster Santa. You know, like
Hipster,
you that's
that's
got
what
the
I'm going
silver
for.
beard,
Yes.
super in shape.
Yes, I feel it. I
handsome.
see it.
You know, he doesn't.
feeling
He's
it
not
now.
carrying that extra 60 pounds in front anymore. Is all
Okay.
I'm saying.
Perfect. I'm the sexy Santa.
Anyway, you guys,
Sorry.
we're
Sorry about this, podcast listeners.
no.
very
I just
odd.
wish they could see how cute you are if they're only listening.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, they need to get
catch
on
us on YouTube.
YouTube and
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah. Catch us outside. Wait,
Yeah.
that's old.
Yeah, that's so old.
Hey, we're getting ready to jump. It is New Year's Eve.
It is.
So
New
we
Year's
are
Eve.
fixin' to
Fixin'?
get litty
Where are you
lit.
from? Wait, you just mixed
That's the
Texas
South
and
and the South Bay mixed
South
is what
Bay.
that is.
Yeah, South and South
Hood.
Bay. Yeah.
No, so we're talking resolutions today.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting. So, and do you make them? Don't you? If you make them, why? What kind? So I've never really been a resolution kind of girl because
Yeah.
I feel like why set myself up for disappointment?
Making no goals is really happy.
No goals is a
No
goal.
Yeah, it is a goal.
my goal.
goal is to make no goals. I resolved to never make a resolution.
Yeah,
is
that's
that your
good.
thing?
I like it. Yeah, but so actually, I'm joking, but I think we've discussed some ideas for some cool goals for this next year.
We have,
So
we have.
yeah, and there's 10 of the top New Year's resolutions according to a survey of 2,000 people that I'm going to read real quick. Actually, I'll have you read them.
No, I'll read them, but
Yeah.
we're just going to say that 60% of us make New Year's resolutions. That's pretty high.
Yeah.
60% of us is pretty high. And only 8% are successful.
So that's why
So,
you just don't make them.
Like, so you have to narrow that down. So it means the vast majority of people in society are failures.
Yeah, but then there's that 8% that come through. They're like the
Yeah,
game
8%
changers.
of the 60%.
I know, but that's,
So I can't do
yeah.
the math, but that's
Well,
a very low number of people.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So, everybody's well-meaning. They want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a quote that you were going to share with us that
Yeah.
you had about
I do.
time
So
and resolution.
yeah. One of the things that I think a lot of us, the reason why we avoid making long-term goals is
Yes.
it feels completely overwhelming, or we reach too high. We feel like, you don't want to go too low. You don't want to set a goal that's out of your grasp.
Right, we're
So
gonna
I thought
talk
this
about
quote
that,
was
for
really
sure.
powerful because it breaks it down. It says this: your minute is your hour, is your day, is your week, is your month, is your year. If you want to make this year better, make each minute better. So isn't that cool? Because you see, it's kind of that whole concept of being in the present,
And doing the next step.
doing the right next step.
Yeah.
And if you break those goals down to each day, saying this day, this is what it's going to look like for me to get to the end. I see the end. I'm not there, not even close to being there. But what can I do today to get there?
I'm one of those. I was the kid in the back of the car that said, "Are we there yet?" And I mean, we're going to. Let's say we're going to. We used to go to Wyoming for vacation because my dad grew up there as a little kid, and there was this place called Fremont Lake outside of this little town called Pinedale, Wyoming.
That sounds like a
south of
movie
Jackson.
location.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not.
Oh.
I've been there. It's not a movie location. But anyway, actually, it was really beautiful. So we would drive up there, and I remember we're leaving L.A. where we lived, Ontario, California. We get about to Barstow, and I'm like, "Are we there yet?"
Yeah.
I mean, you got a long way to go.
Yes.
But that's the thing about a New Year's resolution. You do not have to produce an outcome right away. We asked our daughter what her New Year's resolution, and she said, and I'll share this in just a minute, that in fact she wanted to read more. She
Yes.
loves to read. And most of it, well, I don't know, most people do, but I enjoy reading. You enjoy reading.
Yeah.
And she's got it even like narrowed down to what she wants to read. For every novel type book, she wants a, growth book, a
Yes.
self-help book or something for her growth.
One that's entertaining
So,
and one that's
yeah.
educational.
She's a good kid.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here's the top top 10 New Year's resolutions according to a survey of over 2,000 people.
Yeah.
And this is it. Number 1, actually number 1, 2, and 3 are all the same thing. Number
Everybody
1,
knows.
everybody knows, drum roll,
Weight loss.
diet.
Yeah.
Diet. To eat healthier. 71% want to eat healthier. Number 2, exercise more. 65%. Do you want to? We exercise a lot.
We're doing pretty good. Not sure I can do much more. Probably I could. But
Not much.
yeah, we're pretty good about it.
We're pretty good. 65%. Number 3, lose weight.
Yep,
54. You don't
always.
need to lose weight.
Oh, no, I feel like I could always lose. Are you kidding me? Don't ever ask a woman that. We'll
I don't-
always say yes. We can
I just was
lose.
being the positive guy. I was saying you don't need to lose weight.
You're just trying to get lucky later. But so it worked. Number
Lucky
1.
later.
Number 2. Thank you.
So, no, the thing about losing weight, you lost weight
I did.
this year a
but
lot.
I'm just saying that's the sad truth of the matter is that no matter how much you lose, you always feel like you could lose a few more. So
Yeah. Okay.
that's
All right.
so I'm relating to this topic.
So do you? Number 3 is good for you. Lose weight. You'd be in that.
I'd
Would
totally
that
be
be a
down
New
for
Year's
that.
resolution?
Yeah, sure.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about you?
I'm marvelous the way I am. I could be a movie star.
Wow, everybody's just turned us off in the
I'm
last
just-
2 minutes.
I'm just kidding. Actually, I am trying to lose weight right now.
I'm gonna
and
get
so
you-
I'm going. I've already started for the last month and a half. Here we are. Is this the 30th, December 30th? So I have lost 10 pounds. That was my goal.
That's awesome, babe.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you for Christmas next year or maybe the new year because they'll be on clearance now. Scales that when you step on them, it says, "You look like a movie star." And so every day you weigh.
You look like a movie
You
star.
look like a movie star. So I'm going to go find one right now after this is over.
I like that pretty much. Mine doesn't talk to me, but I sure
gonna
talk
get
to
you one that
myself
talks.
after I get off. All right. Number 4, save more and spend less. 32% of people want to save more and spend less. We save.
We'll
and
spend more and save less.
you are a spend more. I'm a save less. What?
Don't get me around the new year because everything's on clearance. So,
And if it's on sale, we can afford it, right?
right. It's always
Yeah.
better.
If it's on sale, buy it. It's a good deal.
You
Yeah.
look like a movie star. I'm gonna find that a mug on clearance like that. I'm gonna find a scale.
Do you ever buy me any guilt stuff? Like, a lot of people do this. Like, they're spenders, so they buy stuff.
Yeah.
So they buy their spouse something, it's out of guilt.
Like checking a box.
yeah,
kind of thing.
I'll buy him a T-shirt, but I got 3 dresses and 4 pair of shoes.
Well, so I
Do you ever do
actually
that?
giving
I mean, be
gifts.
honest.
Giving gifts
We're
is my love
family.
language,
Yeah.
but you're a little bit tricky of the whole bunch because honestly, if you want something, you just go online and get it. Like
Yeah.
every
Or to a
once in a
store.
while, we get
Yeah.
a package from Amazon, and I know you've been trying to look like
you
a movie
said-
star again.
You said to me the other day, I think you have a little Amazon
Online
habit.
shopping problem.
You got it on. It was good stuff I was
Sweetie,
buying.
I appreciate that. But the problem is that then you get what you want. So then I'm like, man, what can I get him that he doesn't have?
Babe, you continue to get me ill-fitting things like you did for Christmas. It was great.
So here's the thing, because I did specifically ask you this last Christmas.
Okay.
And I think I nailed it, don't you?
I gave you exactly what you wanted. All the love
We
a
are
woman could
so
handle.
derailed from our list.
Okay.
We haven't even hit number 5.
I'm on it. Here it is. Number 5. So number 4 was save more, spend less. Number 5, 26%, learn a new skill or hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I just not about that.
Really?
Yeah.
At
no.
67, one of the things I love about you is that you always want to still learn.
No, I want to learn things. I want to learn, theology, philosophy. I want to learn things. I don't want to do anything.
You started picking up basketball again with Gracie.
Babe, that's not learning. That's
That
just
is kind of relearning
Okay,
because you stopped doing it for years.
So, in our garage is all of my tools are laying on the tabletop, and you go. I told you I wanted to
Organize
still
them.
not done. No, I wanted to put I don't know what you call it, the board, the with all the
pegboard.
holes in it. Yeah, pegboard. Thank you. And I was going to put a pegboard. I'm still wanting to do that. So, but I'm praying about it.
Yeah, I bet
I'm
you
going
are.
to pray about that. for a
So
while.
what about number 6, quit smoking?
I'm gonna pray about that too. I don't smoke, so that's not a problem.
Much.
Okay, quit smoking. I'll have a
7.
cigar every once in a while,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
other than that,
Okay.
quit smoking. Quit vaping for some of you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me started. 21%. Number 7, read more. That's Gracie's
That's
in
Gracie,
that 17%. Find another job. She's also there. Oh, I shouldn't say that.
Well,
So,
I'm pretty sure
okay,
her manager
I guess
doesn't
she's
watch
gonna
our
have to find.
podcast.
Yeah, I hope not, because now she's going to have to find a
Yeah,
job.
that's true.
Anyway, so you want to find a new job, new career.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 9,
Drink less alcohol.
less alcohol.
15%.
Everybody's with us on this one,
Yeah.
especially given the new year. Like,
Yeah.
in 3 more days,
So,
they're going to be like,
tomorrow
I'm
night.
over it. I'm
Tomorrow
over it."
night
Yeah.
is when it stops there.
Yes.
So you got to gear up and you go, okay, that's it. I'm not drinking
Right.
anymore. Okay, 15%. That's pretty low.
Yeah.
More people want to read.
Way more people want to
Then-
drink than not
less-
drink.
Yeah. But think about that. I want to read more. You want to drink less? Not really.
Not
I just
really.
want to read
Yeah.
more and drink wine.
With wine.
All right. Number 10, spend more time with family and friends.
13%.
I told Gracie, I told our daughter Gracie, I said, would that be you? She goes, no, I have plenty of time with friends.
Yeah.
Family, I don't need more time.
13%. So that's kind
Okay.
of unfortunate.
So here's what we want to do today. You want to break this up for us? What we're going to do here is these 5 tips.
Yes. So here's our 5 tips. Tip number 1, set goals based on purpose and passion. In other words, something that improves your life and something that you truly love. Make a list of the things you love and then narrow that list to a list of goals. I love this because here's the thing. So often you hear about people making goals in areas that are definitely not their lane, right?
Yeah.
So in your lane in life, the things that you love, that
One of
you're
your
gifted
favorite
to do,
phrases.
your favorite things, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
What are the things that God has hardwired you to enjoy, be good at, be passionate about? And then in that area, set a realistic goal. To me, that makes sense. We can make goals, like, for instance, for me, like, I'm going to run a triathlon this year. Well, everybody who knows me knows that's never, I barely make it to the gym every week, and I do my
What are
little
you
weight.
talking
I'm
about?
just saying, I do my weights and my thing. There's no way.
Oh.
That's Amazon
Hey,
right now.
Amazon's here.
It really is. Somebody's going to need to get
Is
that.
it? I'm gonna, Hey, hold on. You keep talking. Tell them all about it.
That's so funny. This is really happening, people. Amazon is delivering, if you want to know, my $54 red patent leather boots from Aldo, and they are fuego. So I forgot what we were talking about. Oh, staying in your lane. So if I decided to just randomly run some kind of marathon, I would be setting myself up for total failure. That's just never going to happen. So in my lane, there are things that I love, that I'm passionate about. Oh, that was your package, not
Yeah,
mine.
it's not shoes.
Hey guys,
I'm back.
the shoes have not.
Did you make any
I just
changes
told them
while I
all
was
about
gone?
my shoes, and it's not even my shoes.
Am I still on this podcast?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, did you read
I-
scripture?
well, no, babe, because I was just telling them how I wouldn't set an unrealistic goal about running a marathon.
Okay, so when we make a New Year's resolution,
Yeah.
you're saying set goals based on purpose
Passion,
and passion. Okay.
purpose, the things you love. Yeah.
Okay. So thinking about what's important, things that are going to last, things that are going to be forever. I was raised on this, and so were you. This scripture, 1 Corinthians 10:31. So whatever you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God.
Yeah.
So even though you may have a passion for something, that passion needs to run through kind of the grid of purpose. Like what's your purpose? Primary purpose of every follower of Jesus is to glorify God. Actually, I'll tell you the truth. Every human being, all of creation is for the glory of God.
Yeah.
And so
true.
that's tip number 1, set
Wait,
goals
we didn't
based on
read
purpose and
that
passion. I
passage.
just did. Tip number 2, set goals where you control the outcome. Set goals where you control the outcome, not just the input.
Right.
So set goals where you control the outcome. I want to say exactly the opposite. I wrote that down wrong.
Okay.
Set goals where you control the input, not the outcome.
Not the outcome.
So
Right.
think about that. If you say, I just want people to love me more, or I want to be closer to my husband or closer to my wife, or closer to my kids, all you can do is create the input. You can't secure the outcome. That's one of the most frustrating things in life is people try to get other people to behave the way they want them to. And New Year's resolutions that are all about outcome and not about input. So, for example, I remember setting goals as a pastor. We would go, I remember sitting and everybody's going, okay, we want to reach so many hundred people this year for Christ. We want to see this many people come to salvation in Jesus Christ. 1,000 people, 500, whatever it was. And yet we don't really control the outcome. That's up to God.
Yeah.
So what we decided, I remember that one specific time, let's decide how many people we want to share Christ with, how many people we want to reach and witness to, because we can't really produce the outcome.
Good. Yeah.
And so for your kids, I want my kids to start being obedient. You're not going to be able to do it. You got to, but you can create an environment where you are more consistent. So we're talking about how to set goals properly, and this idea of vision boards. Now, I'm not familiar. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with vision boards. It reminds me kind of a Pinterest planning.
Right.
Is Pinterest kind of the driver of this vision board thing?
No, I think it's something that a lot
So
of
I did a little
corporations-
research.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did a little
I thought you were
research.
asking me.
No, I'm going to ask you just after I tell you what I learned, and then you tell me what I'm wrong. Images. So you put images on a board.
Which I love.
Am I wrong? Am I right?
No, you're so right.
Okay, and then you put affirmations, statement of affirmation. You're real special.
Well,
You are really special.
not exactly, but
Yeah, it's not
yours
that.
would say you are a movie star.
You're a movie star. I've got that written on my phone. When somebody calls me, it says, "You are a movie star." Hello.
Hello, it's
All
Tim.
right, go ahead. So what is vision board?
So vision board to me is, so if we're relating it to goals, if there's certain areas in your life, if you're leaning into your sweet spot in your lane, then like for me, one of the things I've always loved is home design. If I wanted to accomplish something in that specifically, like that can roll into any kind of design for me. It could be like for my Instagram feed, which, is a big thing. A lot of people do vision boards for that. You're creating a new palette of colors. Excuse me.
Hey, you want me to take over here?
A vibe? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so while you're thinking about the vision board, we'll come back to that in a moment. Here's the thing. So the outcome, there are some things that you can control the outcome. For example, I can control how much I eat. I can control what I eat. I can't control a lot of things in my life, but that I can control. I can if that were my issue, I wanted to lose weight. In fact, that's what I do when I approach my health. And if I'm overweight, and of course my health gets bad real quick if I'm 5 pounds overweight. As you know, I get all kinds of weird symptoms and stuff, but I can control what I eat. So when you set goals of things you outcome. So let's go back to the vision board.
Yeah. So and that being said, then for you, a vision board would have a lot of broccoli on it and movie stars.
Movie stars. I'd like to be a
Something
movie
to keep you focused.
How did I become a movie star in
Yeah.
this podcast? Because I couldn't care less to be a
lot
movie
of
star.
lean, clean food. And
Yes.
you'd be like,
Yeah.
this is my vision. And
So
then,
you actually would put that on a board?
So yeah, it's a visual reminder. It's like, people putting back in the day, they'd put on the refrigerator door a picture of like the goal weight or whatever they want to be, to remind them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like a visual reminder of where you want to go, the direction you want to head. And yeah, it's cool. It's a very creative way of doing that. It's a very millennial kind of thing to do.
I hear you.
But it's
I hear you.
basically like, it's a dreaming board.
Okay.
Working towards that. So number 3 is set goals that are reasonable and measurable. I like that because it's not about saying this year I want to lose weight. It's what's a measurable goal for you.
Very
in that. So
specific.
look up your height, your weight, find out what's your healthy BMI. To me, it's not about the waistline. It's like, what's your healthy BMI, and then go from there and then and say,
let me
okay,
ask you
so
about
10
that.
years, whatever.
The BMI.
10 pounds.
Okay, so I looked at mine. I would have to weigh. I would have to weigh 10 pounds less than I weigh, or no, 20 pounds less than I weigh right now.
Okay,
I'm
well,
not, I've weighed that before.
The thing
when
is-
I got that weight,
yeah,
you went,
you
Tim,
look-
you
I
are
know.
way too
I know.
skinny.
Okay, so you're taking this personally. However, I will say this isn't totally about you.
Wait a minute. This
No, what I
podcast is
wanna
not
say-
about me.
What I want to say to that, though, is
I'm
that
a movie star.
You're at your doctor's office, and they always tell you what great health you have.
Yeah.
Even though if you're 5 pounds over, apparently you're going into some kind of anaphylactic shock or something. Major issues if he's 5 pounds over. That's more in
I
your
don't
head.
know what their problem
But
is.
yeah, so that's not reasonable.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about, like a tangible goal.
Yes.
That's not unreasonable.
Okay.
That's regarding weight. If it's another goal like
So when people are setting their New Year's resolution,
Yeah.
they look down that next year
Mm-hmm.
and say, what do I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And it needs to be something that is reasonable
Yes.
and measurable. So you need to be able to go, this is something I actually can accomplish.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a way that I can evaluate whether I hit my goals or not.
Yes, yeah.
Because a lot of people, I remember one time I was in a church meeting and this pastor says, what do we want to do? And it says, and we were in San Jose, California, and said, we want to reach San Jose for Christ.
yeah.
I'm like, okay, in whatever year that was, it was 1980 or something.
Yeah.
And
What
I'm
does
like,
that even mean?
yeah, like how do you? I mean, you know what? What are you talking about? There's no way to measure that.
Exactly.
So that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Tip number 4 of how to set a New Year's resolution: celebrate the win. Here's the thing. What does your win look like? And I admit I'm not really good at this. I have a tendency not to celebrate the win. I'm kind of an achiever, so that A-type
On to the
personality.
next thing.
On to the
Yeah.
next thing. And instead of stopping and celebrating the win, here's what happens when you celebrate the win. All the people that are involved in this
Yes.
are encouraged.
Yes.
You're encouraged, and you need to celebrate that win. And so, like if you're doing weight loss and you hit a certain goal, celebrate the win. You go out and have Cinnabon.
Buy a nice dress.
Oh, I was thinking Cinnabon. You were thinking dress. Okay. I probably wouldn't buy
Or
a
both.
dress.
Both, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Give us
Okay,
our last tip,
Final
number
tip,
5.
and we're coming down to the line here. Don't see it as a failure when you have a setback. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Because I think that part of the process of accomplishing anything really significant in your life is going through the steps of failure, the mishaps and
Yeah.
the missteps of failure. And a lot of people just stop there, but it's pushing through your failure. As we've used this term before because I love it so much, failing forward. So yes, you mess up.
Yeah.
You get back on the wagon, you keep pushing forward to your goal. Failing forward is the key to accomplishing your goals and not giving up.
Yeah.
On the end
Here's
game.
here's the thing about that. Let's take the issue. We way too much about weight loss here, but let's just talk about that.
It's in
'cause
the top
it's-
3,
it's-
so.
yeah, number 1, 2, and 3. But anyway, I would say that for me, I'm the kind of person that weighs every day,
Yes.
and I will have.
You're a movie star.
You're a movie star. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that scale. I can't wait for it. Anyway, so on the weight, when I weigh myself in, I can have a fluctuation just based on water weight,
Yes.
and it's really
Dramatic.
the next day it'll drop down.
Yeah.
So especially if I have a snack or something at night, a snack.
Yes.
And the thing that feels like failure for the moment, but just kind of set that aside, feel that accountability, feel like, okay, I can't be snacking like that,
Right.
and keep moving on.
Yeah.
You're a once a week weigh-in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so your failures are...
That was a game changer for me.
Yeah.
In a positive way.
You mean, did you weigh yourself more
Every
often?
day, yeah.
Oh, you
and
did?
When I struggled most with my weight, I was weighing every day.
Really?
Yeah, and then when my mindset changed, and we've shared a lot about this with my health issues with my brain tumor last year and all those things. That's what sort of got me on track with my nutrition because the role that can play in growing or shrinking a tumor, whatever. But I stopped weighing in every day. When my motivation became about my health truly and not about fitting into my favorite pair of jeans, that was the switch. So I weighed once a week instead of every day and just kept an eye on it. And I didn't stress out about it.
Yeah. And I whatever it is, if it is, I've had a lot of distractions on writing, so I haven't been able to write as often as I would like to. My New Year's resolution is to focus a little bit more on my writing.
To finish.
I've got several books that I've finished, but I really need to finish this book that I've been working on. And sometimes it feels like a failure when I have to do other things that are really important for our ministry and for other things. And so that distraction feels like a failure. Instead of feeling bad about that, just pick yourself up, move back forward. So what we're going to talk about next time. So we hope you have a great New Year's celebration. Be careful, have a good time, enjoy. Remember, God gives us new beginnings. And it's kind of a neat thing. We're going to talk about, this sounds negative, but I think it's going to be a positive thing, is 6 obstacles that hinder our New Year's resolution. So next week, you will have gone over New Year's Day, and it'll be about 5th or 6th when we come to you next time of January. So we're going to talk about these obstacles, and I think you'll find that God has a way to have you overcome those obstacles and really become someone who wins, who succeeds, who reaches your goals. And I think it's a great journey. I just want to say before we go that I believe in doing New Year's resolutions because people like and need a new beginning.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
You've been listening to Hope Rescue Podcast. Forgot the name. That's my New Year's resolution. Never forget the name again. Hope Rescue Podcast. Tim and Kimberly Scott, and we're so glad that you're joining with us. Invite your friends. Here's a resolution for you before we go. Invite 10 friends to join us in this New Year's. We're so glad that you joined us. God bless. Have a great week. Have a happy, safe New Year. We'll see you next year, 2020. God bless.
Yeah, bye, guys.